As the star of Dog the Bounty Hunter, Dwayne "Dog" Chapman has captured hundreds of fugitives, so why can't he capture some alone time? Before Dwayne "Dog" Chapman established a career of hunting down and capturing bad guys, he was a criminal himself, which cut his first serious relationship short. In 1969, Chapman's first son, Christopher Hecht, was born. According to The Mirror, Chapman not only was in jail at the time of Christopher's birth, but didn't know his then-girlfriend, Debbie White, was pregnant. In 1978, White died by suicide, and Christopher was adopted by a couple not related to the family. Gloria Hecht, Christopher's adoptive mother, told The Sun in 2021 that Chapman did not get in contact with his firstborn until Christopher was in his late teenage years, and that father and son do not get along. She also believes Christopher's struggles with addiction and the law are linked to his fraught relationship with his biological dad. As of 2021, Christopher was incarcerated for a prior menacing charge. Around 1970, Dwayne "Dog" Chapman met LaFonda Sue Darnell on a trip to Denver, Colorado. According to Chapman's 2007 autobiography, You Can Run But You Can't Hide, the two dated for almost 2 years before officially tying the knot in October 1972. Chapman and Darnell share 2 children, Dwayne Lee Chapman II, born in 1973, and Leland Chapman, born in 1976, per The Sun. The couple's marriage would not last much longer past the birth of their second son, as Chapman was arrested following the murder of a man named Jerry Oliver. According to The Guardian, one of Chapman's friends shot and killed Oliver during a marijuana deal gone wrong. Chapman, who was waiting outside Oliver's house at the time, was charged with first-degree murder and sent to prison. He was released after a year and a half, and the whole ordeal was enough to get Darnell to file for divorce in 1977. When Dwayne Chapman was released from prison in 1979, he was already divorced from LaFonda Darnell and was looking for a new companion. As he recounted in You Can Run But You Can't Hide, he met Ann Tegnell at a biker party in Colorado where the two hit it off.
So you like me, you like crazy girls?
The pair left the party, but after they'd been intimate, she revealed she was 17 years old. To avoid more jail time, Dwayne married Tegnell the next day. He said in his memoir, "We didn't know each other at all. We were both so young, and we probably wouldn't have gotten married if she hadn't been underage when we met." Dwayne and Tegnell had 3 children together. Their first child, Zebediah, died on January 31, 1980, shortly after his birth, according to ET. The couple had 2 more sons, Wesley Chapman, born in 1980, and James Chapman, born in 1982, before splitting permanently in 1982, as reported by The Mirror. Following his divorce from Ann Tegnell, Dwayne Chapman tried to reconnect with the kids he had with LaFonda Darnell, whom he'd lost custody of. As he recalled in You Can Run But You Can't Hide, Dwayne went to Colorado Springs to track down Dwayne Lee and Leland Chapman, but what he found was another wife. In 1982, he met Lisa Ray Britton and wanted to have a child with her. So, as he recounted in his memoir, he offered her a hefty sum of money to have his baby.
That's a cute baby. Oh, hi there. I like all the babies.
Rather than write it off as an alcohol-fueled proposal, Britton split from her then-husband, married Dwayne, and had 3 kids from 1982 to 1987. Barbara Chapman, Tucker Chapman, and Baby Lisa Chapman, per The Sun. The two soon drifted apart though. Dwayne shared in his autobiography, "Her dreams and mine were no longer headed in the same direction. She wanted to spend the rest of her life living in a secluded cabin in the woods. I wanted the bright lights of Hollywood." The two divorced in 1991, leaving the future TV star single once again. Dwayne Chapman met his next wife while he was still married to Lisa Britton. As he recounted in You Can Run But You Can't Hide, Dwayne and Tawny Marie's first interaction was when he nabbed her for narcotics possession in 1988. A few years later, he brought her on as a secretary, and their professional relationship soon turned sexual. While he wanted to keep things casual, Tawny wanted a serious relationship, and according to the TV star, she apparently pressured him into marriage in 1992. As far as Dwayne was concerned, though, the union was a disaster picture from the beginning. Dwayne alleged Tawny started using again while they were together, and he was unfaithful. After his mother's death, he struggled with depression and turned to alcohol and drugs. A budding affair with Alice Beth Smith also put a significant strain on Tawny and Dwayne. They split in 1994, but legally remained married until 2002, according to The Mirror. Everyone recognizes Beth Chapman as Dwayne Dog Chapman's longtime wife and bounty hunting sidekick. Long before starting a relationship and starring in their own reality TV show together, however, the two met one another when Beth was technically a criminal herself. As Beth recalled on The Rosie Show, it began when she was accused of trying to steal lemons from a grocery store. She was waiting in line when she found out she had to call her boss, a state senator. Dwayne wrote in "You can run, but you can't hide." Whenever he paged her, she had to respond right away. This was before cell phones, so she got out of line to use the payphone, still holding the lemon. She also happened to have an unregistered gun on her person and a number of unpaid traffic tickets, so she needed a bail bondsman. When it came time for Beth to come to Dwayne's office to fill out paperwork, she played hard to get, until he threatened to revoke her bond and put her in jail. It was when Beth finally came to Dwayne's office that it was love at first sight for them. There was no denying the chemistry that Dwayne Chapman and Beth Chapman had when they met in 1988. The only problem? Chapman was still married. Despite this, however, the two started a long-lasting affair, which Dwayne detailed in "You Can Run, But You Can't Hide." Looking back on their relationship, he wrote, "Truth be told, Beth and I were sleeping together the entire time I was married to Tawny and throughout her marriage to Keith. The pair's relationship withstood 2 of Chapman's marriages, one short-lived girlfriend, and even the period in which he struggled with drug use. Finally, in 1997, the two teamed up professionally, and Chapman and his children officially moved in with Beth."
What I'm doing is a father's job, to show love and to build memories.
It took a few years before Duck Kind Bail Bonds would be a well-known establishment, but the 2003 capture of Max Factor Cosmetics heir Andrew Luster helped to launch the Chapmans into the media, as reported by ABC News. In 2004, the pair's show Dog the Bounty Hunter premiered on A&E and immediately garnered huge viewership for the network. The show spanned 8 seasons from 2004 to 2012, though it inspired several spin-off shows like Dog and Beth on the Hunt and Dogs Most Wanted. Dwayne Dog Chapman and Beth Chapman went through a lot since they started their relationship and subsequently got married in 2006. Nothing would prepare either for a startling diagnosis Beth would receive, however. In September 2017, the Dog the Bounty Hunter star learned she had stage 2 throat cancer. At the time of her diagnosis, Beth wrote a letter to fans, which read in part, "My life has never been easy, and I surely don't expect it to start now. Still, I've never been a victim, and I won't let cancer beat me." Beth underwent surgery to remove a tumor not long after her diagnosis, and she was deemed cancer-free in November 2017 per People. Nearly a year later, however, she had to have emergency surgery to remove another tumor, and the cancer spread aggressively to her lungs. On November 29, 2018, Beth took to Instagram to share an update with fans, writing, "Another bend in the road, yet not the end of the road." On June 26, 2019, just a few short months after her emergency surgery, Beth died at the age of 51. Dwayne broke the news on Twitter, writing in part, "Only today she hiked the stairway to heaven. We all love you, Beth. See you on the other side."
Mentally and spiritually, she's there. She's really there watching and helping.
Not long after losing his 5th wife and bounty hunting partner, Dwayne Chapman sought comfort from his dear friends and family, including Moon Angel. According to People, Angel had developed a close bond with the couple after she was brought on as a personal assistant in 1998. In December 2019, romance rumors came to a head when Dwayne's daughter Lisa Chapman claimed on Twitter that something was going on between Angel and her dad. She wrote, "Any person who moves in on a man weeks after losing his wife, who you were supposed to be a friend to, is the lowest scum on the planet." Dwayne responded by telling Radar, She has just been so good to me. I'll get really emotional and find myself getting into a dark hole, and she will tell me to suck it up. So it's been good having her by my side. Rumors grew stronger when the two had an interesting exchange on the Dr. Oz show in February 2020. While discussing the loss of Beth, a tearful Dwayne turned to Angel and proposed.
Moon Angel, will you marry me?
What? No.
Angel appeared shocked and told Dwayne they were just friends, so he claimed the whole thing was a way to convince viewers that the two were not together. Following the death of Beth Chapman, Dwayne told Us Weekly that he would never tie the knot again, but he also predicted Beth would not be his last romantic relationship. He shared, "I have to have the companionship. I don't do single." Evidently, Dwayne changed his mind about marriage when he met Francie Frayne, who lost her husband to cancer before Beth died. As they shared with ET, Dwayne wanted to hire Frayne's late husband for a home-related project, but he ended up connecting with his widow over their similar experiences. Chapman shared with TMZ, "I'm allowed to speak about Beth. I talk about her husband that passed, and we cry and we hold each other." By March 2020, the two had started dating, and in May of that year, Dwayne proposed. While many fans have criticized his decision to move on from Beth, Dwayne explained to People, "If Beth was here and saw Francie and saw how she was raised, her morality and this and that, Beth would say, 'Big Daddy, don't lose her.'" The pair married in a private ceremony in September 2021 and frequently share their adventures on social media.